and welcome to the Celestial Tea Podcast.
I'm Love.
And I'm Tylen.
And we're two Los Angeles-based astrologers and witches serving up the cosmic tea about your favorite celebrities, musicians, and artists.
As always, if you enjoy our hot takes and breakdowns, please leave us a 5-star review wherever you stream, share with your friends and fam, and follow us on all the socials.
So if you're a pop culture baddie, tune in, get your cup of tea, and get ready to sip from the stars.
This tea today, y'all. We're getting into it.
Yeah. We wanted to cover, we did an Ozzy Osbourne episode, which will be out soon. And by the time you're watching this, that's already out. And
I think we should release this one first.
Oh, yes. It will be out after this.
Yeah.
We did talk about that. We did have a conversation about it. And it was like the first dead celebrity we covered, and we did the death chart, and then Charlie Kirk stuff was going on, so we were like, should we?
As astrologers,
Yeah.
Get in there and see what's going on astrologically.
Yeah. So we yes-anded ourselves into doing it. Which is fun, I suppose. I don't know.
Are you gonna channel Charlie Kirk?
Maybe. I'm still deciding that. I would have to protect my energy first, but yes.
I think that people listening to this podcast
would want it.
Yeah. Well, that's really the tea, because when Love channeled Ozzy, it was a really beautiful experience, even though Ozzy himself was also someone that was very controversial. I enjoyed the channeling, so maybe Charlie has a different perspective now that he has passed into the spirit realm.
Has it been 2 weeks?
Yeah.
Okay, then yes.
Yeah.
You can cover it, because I was like, well, if it hasn't, then he's still crossing over.
I feel like his spirit will be here for a while just because he has young children. So I don't feel like he's going to move through the process of reincarnation as quickly as some souls do. And this is the case often when people leave behind family members that they love.
They want to watch over them for a minute.
Exactly. So I feel like his spirit is going to be...
Or they go to another realm.
Yeah.
Because my grandma did that.
Yeah.
She went to another realm, and then she's able to help me in spirit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be the tea. We'll see at the
end. Stay tuned. Okay, so we're going to cover Charlie and Erika's charts, although it wasn't letting me pull the exact location, so I picked something close for human design for Erika.
It's all right. We don't have either of their birth times.
Yeah.
Anyways.
They're educated guesses that we're giving you, although I'm scared after looking at Charlie's chart and then looking at Erika's chart. She has way powerful stuff in her chart that I feel like...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they're...
Even her astrology chart
is intense.
Yeah.
So she could actually do something with the power. I feel more than what Charlie Kirk did, which already is a lot is what he did. So very, very interesting. Okay, I haven't looked at either of their charts.
Yeah.
So I actually like finding it out live on the podcast.
I would love if you feel like you want to debate the rising sign, because this is the fun part of when we don't know someone's rising sign. We can just take context clues of how they present in the world, their life circumstances, all of that, and see how that attributes to their essence. Because the rising sign is so crucial, because it sets up the entire chart. So if you disagree, let's get into it. But yeah, he has a Libra sun, a Libra moon. He was born under a balsamic moon because the moon is behind his sun. So if your moon is 45 degrees behind your sun, you're born under a balsamic moon, which is the last moon phase. And it indicates things around prophecy, futuristic ideals. That's a balsamic moon. And he also has Jupiter in Libra conjunct his sun in, I'm going to say it, his 7th house, because I feel like he is an Aries rising. He is giving Aries rising. I felt like he was a fire sign, and I went back and forth with, is he a Sag rising? But it didn't feel like Sag energy, because Sagittarius medicine, it's more philosophical. It is more about understanding the truth from a wide variety of angles, and there's a humor to it because it is a sign ruled by Jupiter, and Charlie Kirk just doesn't present in that humorous way. He really presented in a very fierce, sort of aggressive way when he was in these debates. Yeah. Like, it's my way. This is what I believe. You can come at me. And I know that was his whole thing, was debate is necessary. But
I think this is what another astrologer has used for his chart, too.
Really? Okay.
Because remember there's that video that we saw where she was saying, like, I think she just Saturn...
pulled up the death chart, which we're also going to talk about.
Oh, yeah, because I forgot astrologers just automatically do Aries rising when they don't know.
Yeah.
Because I'm looking, as you're talking about him being a Sag rising, I'm seeing the other houses, and I could kind of see it, too, because...
In Aries rising, yeah.
No, the Sag rising, like, I could see, because then his Libra would be in his 11th house of community, so he did, like, really, like, that's his whole thing, was he garnered community for Trump. He created community, right? And then that would also make his Pluto, the Scorpio stuff, in his 12th house, and then it would push, like, the Saturn in the 3rd house. I don't know. I feel like that could also make sense.
He, to me, feels very Martian, not Jupiterian.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. Like, he also doesn't look like a double Libra at all. Like, Libras are pretty. Like, he didn't...
Yeah.
That's why I'm like, Like, he didn't have even, like, nice hair or nothing. Like,
yeah.
It's all mid.
I don't think that he is an air rising sign at all. You're like, I need to see...
I'm looking at images of him now.
Pictures.
Okay, I can kind of see the Libra-esque, but his face is so round,
well, your rising sign shows more of your...
Yeah, the Aries. Is he tiny?
Yes.
Okay. If he's short, the Aries rising makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he looks not super fit, but he doesn't look fat, but he does have sort of like baby cheeks. How old was he?
He doesn't look like he's Sagittarius to me. He was, I think, like 30.
Yeah.
31.
Yeah, just past 30.
Yeah.
He does have like a square jaw.
Yeah, but he also doesn't give like he's an earth sign rising.
What about like a Cancer rising?
No. I don't think that he would have been so combative and so fierce in the way that he communicated if he was a Cancer rising. I feel like if he was a Cancer rising, he would have never said that the new age term empathy is damaging.
Where's his Mercury though?
So
Scorpio? Oh.
Yeah. And if this is true that he is an Aries rising, then this gives his ruling planet Mars and Scorpio conjunct Mercury.
That makes sense.
Nessus. And Pluto, right?
That's why he spoke like that. I think no matter what his rising is, he would have come back combative and fucking...
No matter what.
Yes, because of that.
Of Pluto, yep. Mercury together. Nessus here too, because when we think about a lot of the things that Charlie Kirk said in his lifetime, they were very damaging. A lot of the things that he said were very harmful and hurtful. We can pull up quotes if y'all listening are like, wait, what did he say that was hurtful? Like,
okay, these Aries rising celebrity men have like the same chin though, and he doesn't have that chin. I don't know.
What do you mean?
Like, his face is, like, the most...
I feel like he looks kind of like he has that.
You think so?
Yeah.
All right. Maybe he's just puffy. Okay.
But I could also see Sag rising as a close second. That's why I'm saying I went back and forth.
Yeah. Because
the Sag energy, it does care about the truth. So you're like, wait, Sag. Are these sun signs, though? Or
no, confirmed rising signs.
Risings,
yeah.
Okay.
It's a wider jaw.
I didn't realize Elvis was a Sag rising.
It was that. They do have a different look in their eyes, I feel, than the Aries rising.
Yeah.
And it's a longer face.
Yes.
Which is why I was trying to see. And I think Charlie Kirk's hairline was so far back that, like, I was like, is his face this long? Or is it just the receding hairline? Like, I was trying to figure out.
Yeah.
Because I know the Sag is the, like, longer face.
Yeah.
Although I'm Sag rising.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. I could see both. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that would make his South Node first house or North Node first house.
Which to me didn't feel so accurate, because if his North Node was in his first house, then that would suggest that this lifetime, his evolution would be to...
He would be more of a teacher. Yeah.
And I know a lot of people regarded him as a teacher, but what I'm saying is I feel like his evolution would have been to dive deeper into introspective qualities, into knowing himself more, into understanding why he believes the things that he believes. And I don't know if we saw that in the collective, him questioning why he believed those things. He just came out so strongly of, this is what I believe. Come at me with anything else and I'm gonna just keep charging forth.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of his debates, if you watch them, he doesn't really validate anything that someone is coming with him to say. He would just charge forth in his own belief system.
It's like when you're just, like, waiting for them to be done speaking so you can say your point type of energy.
Yes.
Which is definitely more Aries energy.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. And I think having the ruling planet being the Scorpio with all that shit in there makes more sense to me too. After looking at his human design, being like, because he has, like, a decent, like, human design. And I'm like, how did he take all this and make it so negative? So I guess, like, that's like the smoking gun. Like, the conjunction with the Scorpio with what is it? His Mercury,
Mars, who's domicile here in Scorpio, Pluto, who's also domicile, and then Nessus as well, who is an asteroid of poison and power. And
weird that a lot of the men that we've covered had that.
The Nessus,
it's like the third or fourth.
Literally, a lot of the things that he said they were so harmful.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
that's Nessus.
Yeah.
So,
and usually I feel like a Scorpio Mercury is more calculated in what they say. So that makes sense that it's like he's just boom, boom, like with the Mars.
Martian energy.
Yeah, he's like, I'm just going to say whatever I want to say in this moment.
Yes. Because he felt like he was a warrior for Christianity, or a warrior for Christian nationalism ideology.
Yeah.
Which is why now the far right is calling him a martyr.
Yeah. Wow. Did you use your pendulum to double check? And it said Aries. Okay. Then why are you asking?
Well, I mean, I'm someone who loves to actually truly have a debate. Like,
there's also a debate of me on the YouTube from high school, so I do love to debate.
Like, I loved our Akatar episode where we went in. Like, I love debating with you.
Yeah, but you didn't change your stance on nearly
anything.
anything.
I
There was like
did.
2 where you were like,
Amryn,
maybe.
I did.
Okay, that one, yes.
And who else? You changed my mind on more, too.
Oh, yeah, and then you read the last book, and then you're like, oh, I kind of see it more.
And with Nesta, too.
Yeah.
So I am someone who is open-minded, right? But if you are saying something to me that is flat out hurtful, that's a different fucking story. Like,
I think that's human nature.
Yeah.
Okay. So, we're getting off topic. Okay, so he's an Aries rising. What does he have? Lilith? Is that?
Lilith on his ascendant.
A Lilith incarnate.
And we see that too with his essence, right? He was someone that just came out so raw, wild, unapologetic. Like, okay, let me just share some of these things that this man said. If I see a black pilot, I'm going to be like, boy, I hope he's qualified. Excuse me, sir.
I hope all of my pilots are qualified.
Why would someone be sitting in that chair if they weren't qualified?
Okay,
that
so he's just saying he's racist.
Harmful.
That's the quote. I'm racist. That's the quote. He's just trying to let you know he's racist using context clues. Just say you're racist, bro.
Okay, what else did he say?
Oh my god, here he goes again with this black racism and the homophobia.
Yeah.
Oh my god, another one. Okay. He really is just does not. I'm sorry.
Do you want to say this one? Oh my god.
Happening all the time in urban America. Prowling blacks go around for fun to go target white people. That's a fact. It's happening more and more. In 2023, he said that. What?
When really his ideology has promoted the lynching of black people, which is fucking horrifying.
Yeah.
So
he definitely was just like racist against black people. It seems like he believes every stereotype about black people. Like every harmful racist stereotype, and he's just like he reminds me of like one of those like old Southern women that will just like in any type of conversation just be like trying to throw some racist thing about a black person in there. And you're like, dude, we're like, not that I'm like hanging out with a bunch of racist Southern people, but in this example, it's like, we're talking about like a recipe for dinner or something. And you're like, just need to say this.
Yeah. Exactly.
It's like, okay, you just need to just blurt out your racism. That's what I'm saying
by like the Martian energy of the strength, and especially Mars domicile in Scorpio, to just continue on with the harmful ideology.
And I think that the having all of that in his 8th house, I feel like actually makes sense because it's like he enabled himself. Like, he didn't know how to parse through the wounds and the fear, and he just thought, like, I'm picking up on something that's true and something that's real. But it's like he was tapping into, like, the harmful undercurrent of a lot of the people that he was around, and then he just felt like that's truer and truer and truer. Because it's, like, hard to describe, but what Spirit is sharing right now is, like, when people are racist and fearful in that negative way, like really just blatantly negative way like that, there is this undercurrent of like truth that you feel, because when they speak about it, like they're revealing their truth to you, that they believe in this. So it's like he maybe felt that, like, that they truly believed in this, or, you know, like a lot of racist people like don't speak their truth, right? They keep their negative thoughts to themselves. And so like that's the biggest thing we've seen with the Trump administration is like a lot of people of color are like, thanks for at least being honest and like outing yourself, so we know that you're racist and we're not like how you were saying, like all those people in the spiritual community that all of a sudden we now like know are racist, and they weren't like to us before, like how we knew them. Yeah. So I don't know.
That's where the harm comes into play. If someone who is in this position of power is spewing all of this hateful rhetoric, and then it like waves the green flag for these people to be like, oh, that's what I believe on the inside, so now I can be openly hateful.
Yeah. Like he's picking up on their truth and then just is like, spewing it. That's that Nessus piece.
Yeah.
I feel like the Nessus, I keep seeing like conjunction in his 8th house. It was the twisting. Like that energy is what twisted his actions and twisted his words and his quest for the truth. Because in his incarnation cross, it's the riding across of tension, and I'll read it because it's about uncovering truth. And so that's why I was like, why
that's
is
his North Node in Sagittarius too?
Yes.
That's what it's all about. And especially if he is an Aries rising, that North Node lands in his ninth house.
Yeah, of higher learning,
which
expansion.
Is amplified
truth. Yeah. So his cross, it says, your cross brings a great deal of depth. You have a drive to know and have understanding. You will feel tension to acquire skills that support being able to do things deeply. Only when you're able to relax into the flow, you will find that by living your human design type and strategy, which he's a manifesting generator, so his strategy is to respond and then inform. The skills you need will come your way when you need them. Trust that as you allow this process, these skills will have the depth you require to be successful. You're here to bring depth and relax away from the tension that forces you to seek endlessly for talent, right? So it's like all that 8th house energy, he's supposed to go to the depths, the truths, the real, right? But it's about like that process is brought upon by some rising tension in him that will create the pressure to acquire a skill that will allow him to relax and go to the depths. So it's like, instead of doing the work, like the North Node in the 9th house of exploring and learning and being a teacher, being a student, like all these types of things, he just went into like one space where they gave him the ability to, because it says he's supposed to, he needs to have depth to be successful. So it was kind of like a skip the line type of situation where it's like these people were like, hey, you could have this opportunity. We like what you're saying and we agree with you. And so just keep doing that and you'll keep being successful. And I think like we even saw that where like he wanted to release the Epstein files and that went against Trump. And like that's the tension, right? Like he was creating unknowing tension and like all these things that he's saying obviously is creating tension. Yeah. But it's like he's supposed to let the tension push him to the depths. And I think he just like would just say like ridiculous ass shit instead of going to the actual truth and the depths. Yeah.
Yeah, the Epstein files is an interesting part of this because Candace Owens is someone who also like pushes far-right ideology.
And then also agrees with releasing it now. Yeah.
And she came out and said something about how the death of Charlie could have been related to an inside job for the people that want to keep these files.
And that was the reigning theory.
Wraps.
Yeah. That was the theory as to why they like killed him, that the Trump administration intentionally just killed him.
Because Charlie, because of all of this thing around going to the depths and that Martian warrior energy, he would have kept pushing and pushing and pushing. Yes. And he would have kept fighting.
And they all know that their name is on that list. Yeah. So they probably were like, let's kill him and then we can use his death to help embolden our cause and make him into a martyr. And we also win because it'll be one less important voice in our circle pushing for the release of the Epstein files. Like that's the reigning theory, which to me it's like, yeah, I don't believe that the assassination attempt was real either. I think that they faked that too on Trump, right? So it's like, if they could do that, they could definitely do this.
Yeah, why would they immediately say that it was someone on the left who is trans?
Because they're trying to like embolden their agenda against trans people. They just kept moving the goalposts. First it was like, oh, they're trans, and then it was like, oh, they have a trans roommate. Like, this is all these stupid. It's like, girl, the 1% of the population are trans. Like, that means not many people know trans people. Like.
And most people that are shooters are white cis men.
Yeah, pretty much all the Trump involved ones were all like Republican people. So it's like...
And they did find the shooter, and he was from a MAGA family.
Yeah.
A Republican family.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So, lots of the conspiracies that are happening here, but who knows the actual truth.
Yeah. I definitely... I'm like pissed at Nessus. I'm like, why are you consistently showing up in these fucking people?
Also, like, why can't you, as an archetypal energy, show up in someone in a way that is healthy and healed? Because I do feel like there is a way
maybe
that
it was
we
Pete
can
Davidson was the fourth one that it wasn't so bad.
Yes, because Pete Davidson turned his work into his obsession.
Yeah.
And that's the higher octave of Nessus.
Yeah.
And I mean, we can
Ozzy
see that
kind
with
of had
Charlie,
that.
too, where
Yeah.
Charlie was obsessed with this, doing debates. Like, another one of his quotes.
Well, and he had a podcast and shit.
Exactly. He said something like, where is it? We record all of this so that we put it on the internet so people can see these ideas collide. When people stop talking, that's when we get violence. That's when civil war happens. Because you start to think the other side is so evil and they lose their humanity.
Yeah, that's him. That sounds like him doing his actual purpose. We need to keep provoking to find the truth and not like fall into violence.
Also, him utilizing his gift of the South Node in Gemini.
Yeah.
Where if you have your South Node in Gemini, I also have this as well. There is a comfort within the realms of studying, gathering all the facts, communicating, expressing oneself, being in that vibe of a conversation. So I feel like that's also him, in a way, being in his comfort zone too. Because he would have these conversations, but were they actually about finding a common ground with a deeper layer of truth there?
Yeah.
Like, did he actually change his racist ideologies, his hateful ideologies? Did he in his lifetime? That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Or was it him just falling back into
just saying what they were paying him to say, right? And he's a manifesting generator, and he's a 3-5. So I'm a manifesting generator in 3-5. He's an emotional solar plexus, me too. They say like 5 lines should have a podcast because they're supposed to have ahead of the curve ideas. They're supposed to be able to like help push society to where it needs to go. And a lot of 3-5s are seen as like, there's this one human design meme that was like the profile lines of what they're most likely to end up as, like the superlative from high school. And the 3-5 was like most likely to end up in prison. Because like the 3-line learns through experimentation and just doing it. And so like when you do that, you make mistakes, you fuck it up. And like it sounds like that's kind of where he was, right? Like I'm just gonna fucking whatever, I'll just say this thing without thinking it through. And I usually like, I'm very hard on myself, and like I'm like, let me, before I say it, like I don't have as big as a platform as Charlie Kirk does or did. But it's like, even with my platform, I'm like, I need to, if I'm saying something, I have to make sure like it's not just like off the cuff. Because with my Aries moon, because I have Aries energy as well, like I tend to just be like, and then like put it out there, and then it's like, whoops, didn't get the full picture, and I said something stupid, you know? So I feel like that's kind of like,
but by you taking accountability for that, that is growth.
Sure.
Did he see that at all?
He doesn't say that. No. Exactly. Like he enjoys like responding. It makes sense why you have the debates and the podcasts and the things and the speaking. He also, like, as a manifesting generator, part of the power is the defined throat. All manifesting generators have a defined throat. That's what makes you different from a generator. So he has the power in his throat, and he has gene key. He has a channel in his throat. He has the channel of charisma. So it's 34 to 20, and it's like, literally, it's kind of funny. I'm going to read what the gene key or the channel is about, but it's about being absorbed in your own activities so much to the fact that you're unaware of what's going on in the world around you, that you're contagious in your enthusiasm. When you're doing what you love, it lifts everyone up. So it makes sense. Like if he fully believes in this and he's into it, that's the charisma piece. He's magnetizing people into his
Jupiter
way
on
of
his sun too.
thinking.
So just charismatic, charming, and Libra too.
Yes, and they're supposed to be like very active and moving often, which the Aries risings will want to be active and moving. And moving quickly into action. And so these people have this particular channel. Like if you have this, the 3420, the channel of charisma, you will want to be moved. Like you will have this sense like, I need to quickly move. That's like emboldening like the Martian energy that you were saying. Because it literally says like you need to listen to your authority before responding. So like he has the emotional authority. He was getting swept up in the energy of the emotion and not letting the emotion move through him and then saying his piece or whatever it is that he needs to do. He's probably getting emboldened by like, okay, yeah, everybody's in this and like, and this is the emotion, so I'm gonna keep going and going and going, instead of sitting and like listening and confronting and collecting evidence or feelings about what it actually means, what he's receiving, and letting his emotional wave pass through him, which is what you're supposed to do if you're an emotional authority. Like sleep on it, take some time, like digest it. He obviously was just like immediately like sharing the gut response, the gut feeling. And that's why he said a bunch of bullshit. Because that's what I'm saying. I'm like trying to say as a MG emotional authority 3-5, I understand that impulse, right? Like I don't have the 3420, I have a 3410 channel, but yeah, it can be like really intense because 34 is a gate of power, so you're supposed to focus on yourself and empower yourself. But it's supposed to, like with the gene key 20, it's the gate of now, so he's supposed to be rooted in the present moment and not worrying about future, past, whatever. And he's supposed to have spontaneity, but he isn't always supposed to act on these feelings that he's getting. And I think he just was doing that. And
he's ruled by Mars.
And I'm willing to say he probably wasn't rooted in the present moment, right? Like, because I feel like a lot of people who hold on to racism, they like have like some weird thing from the past that they just like hold on to and let it fester and create this like horrible narrative, right? Like if he was truly being present in the here and now, he would be feeling multiple things and not just one ideology.
Well, I'm sure that some people would debate us and say that he wasn't racist because he did have all of these programs set up to support Black people. So I'm sure some people would say that he wasn't racist, even though he said all these things.
Like, are they his programs?
Yeah.
Like, his name is on it?
Yeah, that's like his Turning Point USA. He has a bunch of different programs that support people.
But then you talk shitty about them all the time.
That's what I'm saying. It's like...
I don't know. People can be racist... it's like a spectrum. Like you can like my technically my grandma, she's like married into our family, she was racist but as a whole towards Black people, but if you brought like a Black person to meet her, she would be nice to them. Like there's like weird levels of racism. Where, and I feel like just because he did that one positive thing doesn't negate
all the other things that he said.
Like it's some weird white guilt thing that a lot of white people, it's like, oh, well, like the whole, like, I have a Black friend. It's like, you could be married to a Black person and be racist. Like, there's still racism in many ways and shapes and forms. And just because you do one good thing for the community that you're racist towards doesn't absolve you of your sin, you know? Like, it doesn't negate the fact that he's spewing. I feel like it's worse to spew harmful rhetoric from such a large platform
and influence people,
and that's what he's doing. He's spreading the ideology, and ideas are the strongest things that exist. If people believe in something, they'll keep fighting for it, right? And so he's now indoctrinating other younger, because the Trump administration used him for the younger generations, like to gain they like gained the vote from him. And so like they used that fact to indoctrinate all these youths. And it's like, so the quote unquote good that his organization is doing might be times 2 negated because of the amount of bad, right? Like I don't know. I feel like a lot of racist Republican people like to use those examples or excuses. Really, oh well, he did something. It's like, good for you. Like, you can hold the door open for an old lady and beat your wife. Like, it doesn't make you a good person. It's
like the concept of people saying, well, like, I just want there to be unity and forgiveness, but that is not possible if we do not hold each other accountable, if we do not have these conversations and get to the root of why you believe these certain ideologies.
Yeah. And why you're just okay with continuing to spread them.
Exactly. Yeah, because we really can't have unity if we do not hold people accountable.
Yeah.
That is necessary. Although I will say that what happened to Charlie is on a world scale showing how toxic and sick our world is. Because it was a traumatic event, right? For a lot of people seeing that who really loved Charlie's work. And it really demonstrated how far we've gone with violence, which
he was a proponent of. He literally
said, I think it's worth it to have a cost of, unfortunately, some gun deaths every single year so that we can have the Second Amendment to protect our other God-given rights.
Yeah.
It is rational. What?
Honestly, sounds like a script that someone wrote for him. I don't know. Like, I've known people who are like pro-gun, Second Amendment people, and I never understand. It sounds like they're just repeating an old story that they heard. Like, to protect so we can protect. What are you using your gun for if not shooting children? Where else are people shooting? What are they needing their gun for? Like,
yeah, why is it creating that feeling of safety?
Yeah, like, yes, when the Second Amendment was made, our military was very different, and the U.S. needed to protect themselves from the military were just coming in their house and being like, I'm going to use your house because I'm going to live here. And so they had to, like, literally be like, no, you cannot be here. Get out of my property. And, like, we don't have that, though, anymore. Like, we don't have the military coming into our house and doing that. So I know we have police doing that, but
we're too far gone as a society to completely get rid of guns. It's weird. But I feel like in an ideal world, we would have like a system where people will rent the guns if they want to do like hunting or go gun shooting. Because I know that's some people's hobby and they like love to do that. Yeah. But why do you need to have it 24/7? Yeah. Where potentially a child could access it?
Because that's where most of the injuries are. Is people at home not being educated on how to use it and children getting hurt. But look, there's other countries that I researched this because I was like, how come the other countries don't fucking have this problem? Yeah. There are countries where you can get a gun. I think it was like Japan. They make you take a course. First, they like interview you as to like, why do you want this gun?
Yes, mental evaluation.
And they evaluate you, and then they have you take a course, and then after you take the course, they ask you again. They do another interview to make sure that you still want it, and it's just for like collecting or whatever.
Yearly updates, because especially in our society now, anxiety is growing. Yeah. Depression is growing.
Yeah, and like I feel like if I can look up and see what other countries do for their gun control and their gun policies, like any politician can do that. And like to just give that answer of like, oh, it's like, what are we sacrificing these lives? He's like, it's basically these people will have to die. It's a necessary evil. And
no, there's other ways that we can shift this in our system.
Yeah. But it's very karmic. There was another astrologer that we saw the video of, and they were saying that like the Pluto squaring Saturn indicates a karmic death because Saturn is like the lord of time and karma and like a karmic placement. So I find that very interesting, especially in his 8th house. Like, geez, that's the house of death, life and death, transformation, rebirth. So he did get a very karmic death. It's like, it's kind of interesting that his purpose is to create tension so that we can go to the depths.
Pluto was actually in a sextile with Saturn at the time of his death.
Wow.
Not a square.
Oh, in his natal chart.
No, in the death chart.
Oh, okay. They were looking at that.
But I think what
they were looking at his natal chart. Yeah, see how it's like Saturn
in his natal
squaring.
chart he has
he has that crazy square there.
Mm-hmm.
But and then having them sextile, it's like activating that, I feel.
Yeah.
That placement that he has got like lit up on that day.
Yes. What's really interesting too about his chart with the Saturn piece at least is he has Saturn in Aquarius conjunct Athena, Persephone, and Vesta. And if this is true that he is an Aries rising, Charlie would then have Saturn in his 11th house.
Mm-hmm. Of community. In
exactly.
The collective.
And that's why he built really his empire, Turning Point USA, indoctrinating all of these young souls into his ideologies, which we see with Aquarius medicine, right? It's a fixed air sign, and it can be stubborn in the thought form, stubborn in the ideology, stubborn in the thought process.
Yeah.
So I feel like
and also like interesting Saturn in the 11th house, right? Like he has a collective karma, right? Like his karma is tied to humanity in some way, shape, or form. And then, like, him having such a public death, too.
Yeah.
I almost get this visual of, like, he was given chances or choices to, like, do the right thing. And then Saturn was like, nope, you're done. You reached your limit. Like, get out of here.
Yeah.
Wild.
Yeah. He also has...
Oh,
this is true.
North Node, Or
the MC up in his Capricorn 10th house, which to me that also felt accurate as an Aries rising because of the empire that he built. Yeah, and then Uranus and Neptune also appear in the 10th house for him.
And they're conjunct. It's the millennial conjunction.
Yep.
Which is rough because, well, that kind of makes sense, right? Sudden changes and shifts in career. He became very big. He didn't start off in politics. They recruited him into it.
He was always meant to show up as someone with a big presence, though, with Jupiter conjunct his sun. Yeah. If you have Jupiter conjunct your sun, your purpose is you're here to be big. You're here to take up space.
And in the 7th house, like in a karmic way, in a relation with others.
And one-to-one, and that's what he did with the debates, the one-to-one debates.
And also I feel like a podcast can be one-to-one because it's like who's listening feels one-to-one. Yeah. Wow. Okay. Do you want to look at his other chart or do you have more?
Yeah, he also had Venus in Virgo.
I haven't even looked at his channels.
Oh yeah, let's look at his channels.
So he has the same one that Ozzy Osbourne has, the channel of struggle. So he's designed to fight for the world that he wants to see against all odds. So again, like I was saying, like he had a lot of these powers, but then he used them, right? You still free will. So he has that charisma one. And then now he has this one to like be really stubborn and stay true to what he wants to see in the world and what he wants to create in the world. And like he also has like that channel and this one are about being busy and being active and doing a lot. And like that's he was doing the most.
And clearly we see that so many people celebrate it. So many people were grieving over his death and celebrating all of the work that he did in his lifetime and not even looking at any of the harmful things.
Yeah. And part of the gene key that's in that is the gate of the fighter. And it's like they sometimes like to feel like the underdog. So maybe that's why he really aligned with the ideologies of the Republicans, because in the grand scheme of things, they're the minority, right? Like most people don't align with their ideologies, but just the people that do are in places of power, right? Like most of the populace does not agree, right? It's just like we haven't realized that we have
Trump
power.
Did win presidency, so
and admitted like 3 or 4 times that he rigged the election on camera. So I don't believe none of that is, none of it's valid to me.
Yeah.
Like,
that is true. Elon did drop hints.
Yeah, I could pull up 3 videos where he says we've tampered with the election.
Yeah, that's wild. I didn't realize that there was actual evidence and proof for that.
He's just been like, it was in the press conference, literally in the White House, and he said it. Like, he admitted it multiple times. And like, everyone's like, where's the lawsuit? I don't know. I guess there's so many fires, you don't know which one to put out.
Yeah.
He has the channel of recognition where he's supposed to learn through feelings. So he's supposed to be in the dream realms a lot.
Oh, yeah.
And he's supposed to focus on bringing his dreams to reality. That's the very Capricorn, like north, I keep saying north, no, 10th house. And he can have a tendency to fantasize about things and create expectations that may not come true. And the more he dreams and grows, the more he learns, the more he dreams and grows, it's tied to, I'm saying this wrong. Him executing his dreams and growing are tied to him exploring his feelings, which I'm willing to bet he didn't do a lot of that, because then he probably, like, who fucking says that they don't think empathy exists? My mom literally says shit like that.
Well, the other side to that is that he thought that sympathy was a better word, but sympathy is a word that the far right uses, like being a sympathizer towards certain ideologies, when really empathy is something that humans, we are all capable of, because we experience emotions on a wide range. So yes, while I might not have gone through the challenges that you have gone through, it's still operating at a specific emotional range that within my own life experience, I can empathize with.
Yeah, and him being an emotional authority, he is built to experience the world through emotions. So
yeah,
him, out of all the different authority types he could have, would be able to empathize most, right?
Yeah.
Because it's like, we're both emotional authorities. We literally feel the energy of what's happening in the moment. Yeah. So it's like, for him to not be able to empathize, crazy to me.
Yeah, well, that's how he got away with saying things like, it's God's perfect law, talking about stoning queer people. Like, would they say that in the Bible? It's like, that by you saying that, you are essentially removing yourself from the human emotion of being able to understand that love is love in its many forms.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because that gate 30, part of this is the gate of feelings. So it's like, he's supposed to try to be in all these new situations so that he could feel new things. And I feel like he definitely like shut down from a lot of, I feel like there's some kind of like shutdown or something in his feelings. But yeah, it's a lot of like chasing, and this gate is a lot about like having a desire, a dream, and chasing it, then getting a new one and chasing it, getting a new one and chasing it. I can see him doing that for sure. Another
debate that he had, that this TikTok sound got really popular, where she's like, I'm talking, thank you. In that debate, he was talking about abortion, and he said the answer is yes, the baby would be delivered, responding to a question about whether he would support his 10-year-old daughter aborting a pregnancy conceived because of a rape.
Ugh.
So he would not put himself in the position of understanding the trauma.
Most people won't.
And just saying a life is a life.
Yeah.
Like,
that's why he got unalived like that. Yeah, so his last gene key, or last channel, is the channel of transformation. And it's a channel that pushes people to succeed, like this drive to succeed. So he's here to create financial success through hard work to succeed. It's a gate that's like a natural entrepreneurial energy, so it makes sense why you said like he had like the different organizations and things.
That captained house.
Yes, definitely. And he's supposed to build something that's sustainable so that he can gain wealth, which it seems that he felt like this aligning himself with this administration was a sustainable move for him. And then it says like if you work in an organization, you have a strong desire to have your efforts recognized by others and climb the ladder. So definitely felt like he did that because he inserted himself in a lot of public spaces so he could get recognition. And then he started speaking against some of the things that his, you know, party agreed with. So yeah, it's very interesting. It says if you focus too much on your goals and not enough on your quality of life and relationships, you can become a workaholic, which I wonder. Yeah.
Yeah. I could see him being a workaholic. I think that's why we see in his natal chart, he has Venus in Virgo in his 6th house, if it's true that he's an Aries rising. Yeah. So there is a love of work here.
Yeah.
And he feels like he felt like his work was how he was of service to humanity.
Exactly. Yeah. Like he probably thought in his mind, like, I'm doing the Lord's work here. Yeah. Literally.
He did, and millions of people also think that.
Gross.
It's really scary times we're living in, y'all. And this is why it is important to have these conversations. I agree with Charlie on that specific piece of, like, it's important for us to keep talking because I genuinely would love to be able to understand the mentality of the racism, of the hatred.
It's just indoctrination. It's not... I feel like people think it's like more complex. What I've seen with people who are racist is either they have an inciting incident that happened to them and they like it's too traumatizing and they don't know how to process their emotions and they just set a rule like this is the blanket statement moving forward, or they're just brought up in some kind of societal cultural organization of some kind, whether it's like your family's culture or your church or whatever, right? That just keeps like shoving that propaganda like down their throat. Yeah. They either tell stories of their anecdotes or they just talk about it, or, you know, because they show like children are not inherently racist, right? Like those videos when there's like a big scary man in like a Halloween costume, like a Grim Reaper or something, and then the kid is scared, and then the person in the costume is like, hi, like I'm fine, and then the kid's like, oh, they're nice, like cool, like that's how nature is, like for humans. Like yes, it's scary because we don't know how to identify it, and like our brain is conditioned, like the way our brain works is by like mapping, so like building on concepts. So it's like, where do I categorize this person or this thing that I'm interacting with? Is it good or is it bad? And then it gets like more complex as we get older. Yeah. And it's like once the child learns like it's not bad, it's just different. Like I've never, like people are like children are too young to learn about it. I've never seen a kid like struggle to accept something if you just tell them like that's just the way it is. Like there's been videos where I've seen like a white kid interacting with a person of color for the first time. They'll ask, like, why are you different than me? Because their brain is recognizing I can't categorize you as exactly the same as me. But once they're like, I just am, like, the kid's like, okay. Like, they're not like, oh, you're bad, you know? Yeah. And that's something that's taught. And so it's just strict propaganda and brainwashing that gets people to this way. And we've seen that with, like, cults. Like, we can use other extreme things. This is technically a cult. But, like, what we would define as, like, a traditional cult that... all it is just the propaganda and brainwashing continuously being shoved down somebody's mind. And what your brain does is in order to survive, in order to keep living every single day and not like have a psychotic break, you just create these like irrational, like cognitive dissonances inside of yourself. So like your brain will be like, this is true and that is true, and it doesn't make any sense.
And oftentimes it's for survival, like a state of, especially if you are surrounded by MAGA or people that are heavily indoctrinated in these belief systems, if you do not follow along with that, then you are then outcasted.
Yes. And that's part of what they do with the propaganda and the brainwashing. They create a high control environment that alienates you and makes you feel powerless, makes you feel alone, so that you'll continue to tell yourself the lie and to agree. That's what we saw, like, when people would ask me during, like, the Trump elections, they're like, why are all these people, like, pro-Trump? It's like, because they're alone. These young men are alone, and they want a sense of belonging and community. And so they're willing to overlook their morals, their truths, literally common sense, to feel like they belong. And that's all that it is. That's the separation tactics of the government and the powers that be right now want us to have, so that they can easily take people and be like, oh, you're alone and you don't have, you know, what you need to feel good. We can give that to you if you align with our ideologies.
And I think that's why they're so hell-bent on going after people that are neurodivergent and people that are autistic, because if you are neurodivergent and autistic, your brain operates in a different way and you're willing to question the norms.
You can't. And people with autism who are on the spectrum, they can't be lied to. They can sense the truth of these things. And that's why these types of people hate them so much, because they can't spew their bullshit. Because the, like, people who are on the spectrum will, like, do their research and question.
Yes.
Yeah. And that's why they want you to just believe what they want you to believe. And that's why religion is so successful, because they created the story that you just have to believe what they tell you. And if you don't, then you'll go to some scary place called hell. And so, like, you just fall in line, right? Because you're too afraid of, like, your soul dying and being in eternal damnation, that you'll overlook all these other things that are literally the principles of what people, like, do to get into hell.
Look
so
at the
weird.
History of the church. It is bloody.
It is. There's not, like, who decide. If that's the case, why did they decide to go to like the Inquisition, the war? Like, why would they do, what is it, like, the people from the lifetime that you were in, when they would
the Crusades.
The Crusades, thank you. Like, why would that be a thing?
Yeah.
Just because people don't believe in your religion doesn't mean you get the opportunity to, like, kill them for it. Like, that's still doing something bad.
It's so harmful that they ripped so many people from their native traditional practices.
Yeah. They just co-opted all of them.
Stole the land.
Yeah.
Like, that's the thing that really pisses me off.
Even in Europe, they stole a bunch of land.
Yeah, and they built their churches over sacred sites.
Yeah. Yeah, so I feel like with this, it's like, if you're like Thailand and you're like, I want to understand, you won't understand, because...
Well, I'm someone that will continue to question.
Sure.
I've always been that way.
And that's why it doesn't make sense to you, because you are questioning and you are looking for the truth, right?
Because I do desire unity at the end of the day. I don't like this feeling that people are so divided and that people believe these harmful ideologies and are operating from this hateful place. To me, that is heartbreaking. To me, that is heartbreaking that so many souls, especially people of color, queer people, we do not feel safe in this current environment. And that is heartbreaking. Like, when can we create the unity? And obviously, like I said earlier, it has to come with holding people accountable. Yeah. And then also forgiveness, right? Like,
and I saw this tweet around, like, the whole rapture thing.
That's been wild on TikTok.
That I think
Y'all,
is very...
if you were not on Rapture TikTok,
you're missing out on a good laugh, on something to make this a little bit better.
Oh my god!
But this tweet was saying, I think it's applicable to this situation, that the very religious people who believe in the rapture are so unpracticed at learning how to, like, confront and deal with their emotions, that they'll like believe in these crazy things like this, right? Like instead of dealing with their emotions and their feelings and confronting these things, they would rather like just do like offhanded, like irrational shit that like doesn't make sense. And that's what I'm trying to say is like, when you lie to yourself, like the cognitive dissonance that I'm talking about, you have to lie to yourself and tell yourself something over and over and over to keep believing that lie, because what you see with your eyes is the exact opposite of that. Like the reality and what you're telling yourself doesn't match. That's what cognitive dissonance is, right? And in order to keep doing that, you have to keep separating further and further from reality to keep believing in this. And so that's why the Republican MAGA people are so like, we're like, what the, like Charlie Kirk's memorial having fucking fireworks when his wife comes on stage. Like everyone was like, I've never, what? Like who's treating this like it's like a concert, right? Yeah. And it's because they would rather do anything, even crazy shit like that, in order to keep believing, instead of just deal with their feelings and deal with the truth of reality and the pain that will happen, right? Because it's like the more you dive into this kind of ideology, the more harm you're causing, right? The more lies you're spreading, the more guilt you'll have if you wake up and you realize and you confront this, the shittier you're going to feel about yourself. And so at a certain point, it's less about maintaining the lie and more about maintaining your sanity, because you've done so many bad things in order to uphold this ideology that you were indoctrinated into or you bought into that's like not real, that if your brain were to confront that, it would be like a tsunami's worth of emotions being like, oh my God, I'm a shitty person. I spewed these lies. I fucking like pushed so far that it led to the lynching of 2 Black men. Like imagine if you're like to confront that. And these people don't have any skills to help them confront their feelings in the first place. And now it's so big. That's why when you have like really bad, when you have not so great parents, I'm using a happier term, it's the hardest thing for a parent who fucked up to admit that they fucked up, because that's such a personal experience of being a parent, to admit that you were a bad parent, quote unquote, because that's what the ego tells you. When you admit that like you hurt your child, that requires you to admit that you're a bad person, that you're a bad parent, that you failed as a parent, that you're like stupid and you couldn't see the truth. Like all these stories that our ego will tell us, right? Because it's trying to keep us away from the discomfort in the safe zone of comfort. And so in order to admit that you're a shitty parent, or that whatever your kid is saying you did to them or they hurt you, to understand their feelings and to center their feelings and not yourself, it takes people the practice to learn how to like lay their ego down, and their ego doesn't have that practice, so they're like, that means I'm the world's worst person if I admit this. And so when they invalidate your feelings, it's not about you. It's not that they don't agree with you. It's just that it would hurt too much for them to look at the truth of that and to feel the truth of that. So they'll just do anything to deny, avoid, disbelieve. And that's what these people do, right? Like I'll do anything to just keep the narrative going and the lies going because it's too painful.
And this is exactly where, yes, the calling out, the being able to have these conversations is necessary. But then after that, the forgiveness piece, like that piece, if you are willing to take accountability for having ideology that is harmful, if you're willing to question the deeper narratives and understand the underlying truths, which oftentimes these ideologies are promoting far greater like systems that are again just causing all of this harm. And so if you were to accept that and accept, like you're saying, all of the emotional pain that comes with that, and have these conversations and open up and soften in the heart, because that's how I feel. My heart is open and soft to have these conversations, because I really deeply desire to live in a better world. Where
but you've done a lot of work. So like what you're saying doesn't feel that hard to you, but to someone who hasn't done the work, like, it can feel like they're gonna die if they do that. Like, that's what our brain tricks us into thinking is like, it's the end of the world.
Or people are so harmed by the ideology and feeling so unsafe that they will never even approach a conversation with a person who has these ideologies.
Yep.
Because ultimately, at the end of the day, forgiveness is what is needed to heal this planet.
Ugh. Yeah.
But it cannot happen if you don't take accountability.
Yeah. It's both like both sides of the coin. These people have to forgive themselves so that they can admit and atone. And they have to,
how are they going to forgive themselves if they don't think that what they're doing is wrong at all?
Mm-hmm. They need to learn. They need to open up to the reality.
And that's why Charlie Kirk's death has really, like, opened up this whole Pandora's box for so many people to really be able to see, like, other people in their true colors, like how they really view the world.
Yeah. I mean, like, there's any world, like when people were voting for Trump, it was outing people, right? Like the stuff with Israel and Gaza, outing people, right? Like when we see this, it forces people to show their alignment, their allyship.
Yeah.
And in a society that's like, don't ask. That's not appropriate to talk about, because they knew that. They knew if we created this reality of like, don't talk about this at the dinner table since like the 1950s, then you can have your personal racist ideologies and keep them to yourself and only talk about it with your family.
But that's still harming the overall collective. This is why I shared on one of our early episodes with Trump how Native practices, when someone was operating out of wrong action or not in right action, the community would circle that person and surround them with love, surround them with forgiveness, really show the mirror for how their actions have been hurting other people and harming other people.
Yeah. But that's also that ego. They were practiced as a culture, as a society at doing that.
Yes. And we've lost that ultimately. We've lost that. And that's why I'm saying, like, my heart is open and soft.
And also you have to put yourself in the shoes of, like, the people being oppressed. Like, the queer people, the people of color, like, women, literally everyone who's not them. Like, those people have received so much harm for so long since the inception of the U.S., since the inception of, like, the church, that they're not going to want to sit there and call this person in. Yeah. You know? Like, they're like, fuck you. Why do I give a shit about you?
And it just keeps perpetuating this cycle of harm.
And that's why a lot of people of color will say, other white people, you are responsible for these people and their actions, because we haven't received as much hate and harm from these people as people of color have for like generations. Yeah. And so, like, it's just like, it's ridiculous to ask them to now facilitate the healing. Like, shenanigans.
It's not going to happen until the accountability is taken.
Yeah. And that's why our people, the white people, need to be active in combating and doing the work that you're talking about. Yeah. Crazy. Okay, what's his death chart?
Okay, wait. I wanted to share one thing that he said, because we just did an episode with Taylor Swift. He literally said to Taylor Swift, reject feminism, submit to your husband, Taylor. You are not in charge. Like, literally. I'm not making this up, y'all.
This is just another layer of just, what?
Submit to your husband? What the fuck year is this?
And the fact that his wife now is gonna rise like a phoenix from his fucking ashes. She's like, I am the new head of this.
Oh, God. Yeah. Okay, we're going to get into Erika's chart, too. So, yeah, let's do the death chart.
Okay, so, you know, we're professional yappers. That's why we have a podcast. Yes. So, sometimes that means that the episode goes on for, like, over 2 hours.
So. A lot of times it means that. So.
Even the Alexa agrees. So we decided to cut this episode into 2 halves. pausing it here, and we'll pick up right where we left off next week. And
so come back and listen to the rest of the episode next week.
Thank you for listening to another episode of the Celestial Tea Podcast. If you enjoyed our hot takes and breakdowns, please leave us a 5-star review wherever you stream, share with your friends and fam, and follow us on all the socials.
Let us know if there is a pop culture icon or a phenomenon that you want us to look at next.
Tune in next week for another piping hot cup of celestial tea.
Cute.